Instagram, I've gained 20,000 followers in the last 2 months. A tip for posting on social media would definitely be leverage all of the platforms. Out of all the platforms, YouTube is gonna pay you the most. I still wanna treat myself like I'm the artist. I still wanna treat myself like I'm in the spotlight and I'm building my brand. And that was the best decision that I've ever made because
without further ado, please introduce yourself, tell them a little about your business endeavors, and then we can get cracking.
Get crack-a-lackin'. How's everyone doing? So the topic that I'm gonna be hopefully helping you guys out with and answering questions on is how to promote yourself with content on social media. So as of today, I have over 150,000 followers on social media. I'm on year 20 of my journey. So how I got started was I was a music artist. 20 years ago, there weren't type beats on YouTube, or right now you go to Future type beat, Drake type beat, whatever. So 20 years ago, you had to either make the beat yourself or know someone personally to make the beats. So I was the friend out of the group that decided, me and my friends, we wanted to make music. I'll learn how to make beats. So I started making beats about 20 years ago. So now we had beats. Although they weren't good, but they were as good as they were supposed to be. I got started with making beats. And then the next step was recording the songs. So one of the friends had to be the one to record, mix, and master the music. I was that friend as well. So I started recording, mixing, and mastering my own music, my friends' music at the end of high school. And then from the age of 17 to about 23, I put out 16 full-length albums. So I was very busy. All the albums, I was making the beats, recording, mixing, mastering the songs. Long story short, I realized being a music artist wasn't for me, but all of the behind-the-scenes stuff was definitely for me. So whether someone was a fan of my music or not, when they would listen to it, they would always ask, hey man, who makes your beats? And I would say, well, I do. Well, how much would you charge to make beats for me? So I started making my first money selling beats around 18. I think the first beat I sold was for $5. Fast forward, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling beats. And then the first time I recorded, mixed, and mastered a song, I want to say it was $10 to $15. Fast forward to today, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars recording, mixing, and mastering music. Then the next step with music was I was making the beats, I was recording, mixing, mastering the music. Then I learned how to do photography and graphic design because to drop the CD, you needed the CD cover. Got a camera, had no idea how to use it, learned how to use it, taking the pictures, doing Photoshop to design the artwork and stuff. Then I started making money doing artwork and designing other people's CD covers. Started making money doing photography, doing photo shoots for people. Then I realized that with the camera, there was a video option. So I started doing videos, and it was more so, I think the first video stuff that I got my hands on was my brother football highlight tape. So I learned the basics of video editing from chopping up. I would film his game and then chop up just the highlights. And so then I started thinking, when I make beats, I should do the same thing. So I started filming my process, making beats, and I would chop it up and try to make myself look as cool as I possibly can and show all the highlights of, adding the different sounds and stuff. And although it might have took 2 to 3 hours to make a beat, I'm chopping it up to 3 minutes, back to back to back, nothing but the highlights. And I started putting out content. So that's kind of how I first got started with putting content out on the internet. And like I said, fast forward to today, I have about 150,000 plus followers on social media. And then with video work, first video I ever did was $75. Fast forward to today, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars traveling the country, shooting music videos. So my plan for today was to do Q&A. So I've been to conferences, and my favorite part of the conference, was the Q&A part, where I was like, it's cool to see the people up there, they're talking, they're teaching, but to actually be able to pick their brain and ask a question that's specific and custom to me, I think that's where the money's at. So I just wanted to introduce myself first, and then hopefully from there, you guys have questions. By a show of hands, how many people in the room have over 1,000 followers on social media? Okay, cool. How many people have over 10,000 followers on social media? All right. Does anyone in the room have over 100,000 followers on social media? Shout out to you. Where are you from? Here? What's your, are you a music artist? What would be your question for me? If you were, what is the biggest obstacle that you're currently facing that you feel that's holding you back right now?
Just pretty much how to grow your followers, promoting your music and stuff.
Let me ask you, what are things that you have tried that have worked?
I want to say hashtagging the posts before you do it, kind of making reels.
Okay, what are things that you have tried that don't work? Maybe start there.
Probably use a hashtag.
Hashtag don't work, but it does work. I think hashtags are irrelevant. So I'm friends with a guy who runs the social media accounts for some of the most influential people in the world. So he posts over, I think he said 10,000 pieces of content every single month. And so he verified that hashtags are irrelevant, the time of day that you post. So they're pumping out, let's say, 8 to 9 pieces of content on all platforms every single day. They're so busy, they're focused on the quantity. So what's working today is a volume game. Quality is subjective, quantity is a fact. My advice to everyone is focus on quantity and output. So they've posted content at 1 in the morning and it's went viral. They posted content at 5 p.m., it's went viral. They posted content at Monday, it's went viral. Tuesday went viral, Sundays, weekends. So he's basically debunked the hashtags, time of day, things like that. Yo.
What do you spend the bulk of your time on today? Is it more video production? Do you still make beats, or is it social media stuff, or is it all of it?
Honestly, man, it's all of it. I feel like my biggest obstacle is like time management. I got some severe ADHD, so I enjoy going to the studio. So right now my schedule's like Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm in the studio. On the weekends I'm usually out of town doing music videos and stuff like that. I got my wife and daughter, so we do family stuff on Wednesdays and Fridays. During the daytime, like the school day, during the week, Monday through Friday, that's when I'm focused on doing website work, online business, editing my content, planning my content. So like one gem that I can give everyone here is to batch do everything. As far as in bulk, science proves that your brain functions best when it's focused on a specific task versus trying to multitask. So one of the things I do is like today, so after this, at some point, I'm gonna go to my studio, which quick plug is in Lansing, Michigan. Shout Crack House Studios, crackhousestudios.com. What I'll do tonight is I'll probably sit down and film 4 to 5 YouTube videos, and I drop 1 YouTube video every single week. So that gives me 4 to 5 weeks of content from today. Then during or after, I'll do some short form content. So I like to get my audience involved. So that's the benefit of over time building up an audience, is you get to ask your audience directly like questions you guys have, and you might get 50, 60 questions, and I'm like, sweet. Each one of those questions is a short form piece of content. And then a tip for posting on social media would definitely be leverage all of the platforms. My process is this. Let's say right now I was gonna post a short form video. So a short form video would be Instagram Reel, Facebook Reel, TikTok, YouTube Short. I go down the line in a row, gun to my head, 5 minutes as fast as I can. All right, download the video from my email, and I only download it from my email because I edit it on a computer. If you want a more simple method, you could shoot your content on your phone, edit it on your phone, and it's already there on your phone. But then the next step would be open up whichever platform you want. So I prefer Instagram, so I open up Instagram, I write a caption, and it might be 3 tips for promoting your music on social media. Hit post, hit home, go to Facebook, go to Reels, hit upload, hold down, copy and paste the same caption, post it on Facebook Reels, hit home, go to TikTok, hit upload, same video, copy and paste the caption, post it, hit home, go to YouTube, click Shorts, post it there. The reason why you want to do that is because you want to accumulate all of the views together. So that's the same thing I do with my social media following. I have about 85,000 on YouTube, about 49,000 on Instagram, maybe 30 or so thousand on Facebook, whatnot. I think I'm at like 5,000 or 6,000 on TikTok and 20 or something thousand on Twitter or X, whatever it is today. But you'll find the same exact video, the same piece of content. You could post it on Facebook and let's say you get 500 views. But then on Instagram, you got 2,300 views. But then on YouTube, you got 700 views, and on TikTok, you got 14,000 views. What if you only posted it on Instagram and you called it a day? So the hardest part of the process is making the content. So my advice would be, once you've done the hard part, making the content, you're literally adding an additional 1 to 2 minutes to also post it on Facebook and also post it on YouTube and also post it on TikTok. So attack all 4 platforms. I've had videos go viral, over 1 million views on Instagram, but on TikTok it did 1,400 views. Same exact video. We think spotlight effect that the same people that follow us on one platform, they're gonna get tired of seeing my same stuff on all the different platforms. No, it's different people. My wife and my daughter, for example, they love TikTok. So they probably spend majority of their time on TikTok. I spend majority of my time on Instagram and probably YouTube. Barely any time on TikTok. I think I only use TikTok to open it, post, get out. So.
Hi, my name is Haley. So what's your take on this like quality versus quantity type output for social media? Because I find that for TikTok, it's like whatever's trending, just jump on that. Like you said, it doesn't really have a lot to do with hashtags or algorithm posts based on the time of the day. Because I mean, we've tried all those routes, right? We are like a very polished group and want things to look polished, but to an extent, it's like you can only put out so many polished things in a certain time span versus like wanting to push as much as possible to get those views, you know what I mean? And so like what's your take on like putting out a high volume without like sacrificing the quality of your output? Does that make sense?
That's a really good question. In a perfect world, you would post quality and quantity. Perfect world. In order to achieve quality, you achieve that through quantity. So my advice would be, if I was starting today, my content creation is gonna suck. And I know that I wanna get better, and how you get better is through repetition. So making music, whatever the music that you guys are making today, is much better, I would hope, than the music that you guys made in the beginning. So how did you go from shitty, crappy music to the music you make today? You made a lot more music. So the same thing would be with content, is embrace the journey, focus on the quantity. What I have found right now is taking advantage of, it's like the platforms are pushing the short form, but my approach is a little bit different because I like to do the work once and then get the most juice out of the lemon when I squeeze it. So, for example, if I sit down right now, or even like from the speech, so the camera's over there, we're filming this. Hopefully it goes well, you know, I'm hoping it is. And this is gonna be, say, a 30 to 40 minute video. So this is gonna be long form. So I'm gonna post this video on YouTube. From this 30 to 40 minute video, there should be a good 5, 6 good moments or like a specific question like this. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect for short form. And so now I'm gonna take the long form video, YouTube, multiple short form videos, and then now I'm gonna take the 5 or 6 videos, but then I'm posting on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, because if you think of like a funnel, a lot of people come in the funnel, at the very bottom it gets smaller. So it's the same way with content. Has anyone heard of Joe Rogan? He has a podcast. Okay. Joe Rogan is the most successful podcaster in the history. I love Joe Rogan. I'm a fan of his podcast. I've never in my life sat down and watched a 3-hour podcast from him, but I've watched probably 2,000 clips from his episodes. I'm a fan of him, but I would have never been a fan of him if he didn't also do the bite-sized clips. The same thing with you guys, you know. Let's say tomorrow you dropped a song, 3-minute song, you put out a music video to it. The people at the bottom of your funnel are gonna enjoy the song. You gotta get way more people in your funnel to even know that you have a song. The short form content is like little Sam's Club taste test, where it's just like they're trying to sell you the bagel bites or whatever it is, the turkey dinner thing, and they're here, you want to try this, you want to try this, you want to try this. And that's how I look at short form content. Even on the song, let's say the hook is strong, but if you uploaded the music video and I have to listen to a 4 to 8 bar intro, and then you come on with a 12 to 16 bar verse, and then the hook comes on, you're lucky if I made it to the hook. A strategy would be make a short form piece of content of just the hook, make a short form piece of content of just the first verse, make a short form piece of content of just the second verse. Someone out there might really like the second verse but hate the first verse, and someone out there might really like the hook but not really like the verses. Regardless, it's the same piece of content, it's the same song. You already did the hard part making the song, so now have fun with the different types of content. Focus on the quantity. Nice car. The ADHD, sorry. Focus on the quantity, and then that's how you get the quality. And then over time, you'll look back months from now and be like, dang, my quality's gotten a whole lot better, and I got a bunch of quantity, and look, I got a bunch more followers now. And all that happened from releasing as much content as you possibly can. Oh, Ajax.
What up?
Yeah.
I'm Ajax. First of all, I feel like I wouldn't be keeping it real or being on responsibility by first saying that me and Nicholas Kakalak worked together. He's created short reels for me. Been in the studio, so he's recorded my vocals, put out a music video, all type of things, and I definitely stand behind his work, and he's got it.
Hey, appreciate you.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask a question. You were talking about your process of posting on TikTok, and then you shut that down, you post it on Facebook and go through those motions. I wanted to know, have you ever used or explored those companies, those third-party companies where you can like upload it to one and it puts it on to all of them? And then if you have, were there pros and cons, or rather like, why do you do your method hands-on doing it yourself as opposed to using a company like that?
Yeah, so that's the more efficient, effective way to do it. And I'm just now getting into that because I'm almost losing my mind on a daily basis from doing that manual way. So like, yes, the free way is make a piece of content, manually upload it yourself. As you get more busy and you start thinking smarter and working smarter, not harder, look into stuff like that. So the one that I'm actually signed up for right now it's called Metricool. It's METRICOOL. I did a bunch of research. I nerd out on stuff. Whenever I try to like learn a new thing, I go very deep and get like a master's degree on it in like a day. So I looked up pros and cons of Hootsuite, Metricool. I watched maybe 30 YouTube videos comparing all the best ones, and I landed on Metricool. So I can just save you guys the time and say, check out Metricool. I wish I had like an affiliate link, and that'd be sweet. But yeah, Metricool, it allows you to do that. So it pulls up like a calendar, and then you hit upload. Yeah, like you upload the video one time, and then you check the box. So you link your Instagram, you link your Facebook, you link all the different platforms that you have, you link them to Metricool, and then Metricool posts them for you.
Hello. Hi.
What's up, dude?
My name is Brandon from Rappers Media. I wanted to ask you about, a lot of people use these things on like TikTok, Instagram, all these sort of short form content places. They use these things called hooks, like to gauge viewers' attention very quickly. Have you ever experimented with anything like that, and have you seen any success with that? Also, I know you work with Speed Gang really well, so I was wondering if I could make that connect today. Obviously, we run interviews and things like that, so I'm trying to garner a larger audience base to do these interviews, so I was wondering if you could help me make that connect.
Absolutely, I'm gonna help you with two things. So one is linking with Ajax, who's right here. That'd be a good look. And then also I'm linking up with Speed Gang today after this, so I'll tell him. Hooks, yeah, every single piece of content. The hook is the most important part of it. So I don't know what rule or what law it is, but it's like 20% of what you do gives you 80% of the results. That's how with content the hook is. So a lot of times if this video, for example, on YouTube, if I were to just upload it in chronological order of like me coming up here and talking about myself, if someone seen this video and it was called How to Promote Yourself on Social Media, and they click play and they watch the beginning, hi, I'm Crackalack, when I was 15, I started making, like I'm probably gonna lose their interest. So with the hook, you wanna it's just like a movie preview, a thriller. Right when it starts, you're seeing all the best stuff in the beginning. It's boom, 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 Batman, he hits the guy, this, I'm coming back for you. And then now they start telling the story. So the same thing with your content. Even if I do a lot of teaching videos or giving value, so sometimes I might even move the sentence around when I'm editing it. Or if I'm intentionally filming a video, I make sure that my hook is planned out. A music artist would be like, I'm just picturing that the camera's right here and it's recording, and then you kind of like jump in the frame and you're like, yo, real quick, my name is blah, 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 and I got this new song that I want you guys to check out. And then now you start lip syncing the song or previewing a certain part of it. But yeah, the hook is very important.
Hi, I'm TK from Red Bull Chicago. I have a question for you. So my job is very fast paced and there's a lot going on all the time. So I tend to be behind the camera most of the time. How do you kind of motivate yourself to kind of get from behind the camera and actually put yourself in front of the camera? Sit down and record content. Like, do you motivate? How do you, like, you got any mantras or any routines or any things that you do to kind of get you to do it?
I think a strong desire. When I was transferring from the music artist, that's the person in the spotlight. So when I made the decision that like being a music artist wasn't for me, it was huge. It was a really, really big deal because everything I had thought of and planned for years up until this time was I'm gonna be a world famous music artist. That's my plan. I'm gonna be a world famous music artist. And every time I dropped a CD, it was like, this is the one. I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna try to get a manager. The manager's gonna help me get X, Y, and Z. And then I would start another CD and it was like, you know what, that CD sucks. This next CD, this is the one. I'm gonna wait till this is done. Then I'm gonna make the trip. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna network. And fast forward, it was 16 CDs of that. So eventually I had 16 CDs and it was just like, all of those suck. I'm making the best music now. And then I was driving myself crazy with perfectionism and overthinking every single song. And then I just thought, man, I'm poor. I found out I was gonna have my daughter. Shout out to Maya. Yeah, and it was just like, maybe now's a good time to focus on the behind the scenes stuff. And I was always way more confident when it came to the behind the scenes stuff. So if I was playing you a song that I made, I might be kind of looking over, are they nodding their head? Are they vibing with it? I don't know. But then I knew if I played a beat that I made, I could leave the room and I know for a fact it's great, it's good. So with the behind the scenes stuff, yeah, one of my fears was, man, I really like creating content. It's kind of cool to be the artist and like you get a haircut, you get an outfit, you shoot a video, you do a photo shoot, like that type of stuff. And then getting, I guess, the dopamine of putting that out there and then people like, oh, that's so cool and blah, blah, blah. And I felt like, man, no one even knows the behind the scene guys. No one even knows what they look like. And so I had this imagination picture of like a caveman. And I'm like, that's what the behind the scene people look like. They're just barbarian caveman with big beards and they're fat and bellies and no one even knows what they look like. And I don't want to be that. So then with content, my content journey, it was like, not that I was an attention whore, but I still wanted that like spotlight and I still like that process of putting myself out there and, promoting myself. So then I started documenting all the behind the scenes stuff. Because I was like, well, if right now there's not people, like now if I say Metro Boomin, we know what he looks like. If I say Sunny Digital, Cash Money AP, Scott Storch, Dr. Dre, Timbaland, all these different producers, we know what they look like. But when I made the decision, the producers weren't really in the spotlight. And so like one of the things DJ Khaled did was, he's not a rapper, but we know what he looks like, we know what he sounds like, he's branded the hell out of himself. That's how the game has changed and evolved. And with myself for the desire, it was, I still want to treat myself like I'm the artist. I still want to treat myself like I'm in the spotlight and I'm building my brand. And that was the best decision that I've ever made because like every opportunity that has come my way with my music career has all stemmed back from me creating content. So even yesterday I got a phone call to possibly go to Tennessee tomorrow for like 3 to 4 days and do a big music video. And it's one of the most famous independent music artists in the world. Well, how he found me was putting out content on YouTube. He also booked another video in Kentucky the following week. How he found me was putting out content on YouTube. How you asked about Speed Gang. So I managed him for 12 months. How we met was me putting out content on YouTube. He seen me do these making a beat videos and he was like, hey man, I've never had a producer. I see you make beats. He wouldn't have known that I made beats if I wasn't putting out the content. It's very important. And I would just think to yourself, when someone thinks of your name, what are all the different things that you want them to associate with that? So for me, if all I did was put out content making beats, people wouldn't hit me up for videos. People wouldn't think about my studio. So I have this kind of crazy, it could definitely use way more organization, but I know I want people to think of me and think of my studio, think of videos, think of beats. And so the easiest way to go about doing it is just to document your life. I've never done a speech. So I'm documenting it. To put out a YouTube video called I'm Managing a Music Artist, I would have never made that video until I started managing, a music artist. I did a YouTube video, I shot a music video for like the most famous independent music artist, something like that. I would have never made that video if I didn't actually do it. So it's like always doing shit, documenting it, and then posting it. Quote me, that's kind of cool, right? Do shit, post it, or document it, yeah. Bars. I still got some.
Not only am I a producer, and I put out short form reels every once in a while of a beat I've done or something. Now I usually use iMovie, really simple. But now when I do that, I can't put it on.
Speaking to maybe the other half of the room, somebody with less of a following, and my approach to artistry is more, I'd rather be heard than to be seen, kind of using that caveman analogy. Would you say that's a good mind state to be in, like being true to yourself and not being what the status quo is, possibly?
I mean, my honest advice would be no. I have a video that's kind of going off right now, and I said, if you don't adapt the mindset of you're a content creator first, whatever the F you do second, then what you do is it's a hobby. I don't make the rules, but I'm just aware of evolving. Right now, I'm very uncomfortable talking on stage, but I know, I guess my envision of myself, I want to be an author, I want to speak on lots of stages, and this is part uncomfortable, of the process. So the same thing with making content. What might be cool for you to do is if you search my YouTube channel or search Crack-a-Lack on YouTube, bro, go back to my old videos and you'll see, dudes in the studio with me and they're so outspoken. And they're like, what's up, man? We're in the studio. I'm with my boy Crack-a-Lack, blah, blah, blah. He's making something crazy. Put the camera over to me and I'm just like, what's up, shout out to Lansing. So I felt that way then, but then it was just like, bro, I'm poor. No one knows who I am. And in order for me to change this poor thing, more and more people have to know who I am and that I exist, and I'm like, shit, this sucks. But I guess I'll start making content. And so the first content I made, I wasn't talking to the camera. I was like, shit, I'm gonna just show me make beats. And I'm cool at that. I'm not cool at talking to the camera, so I'm just not gonna talk to the camera for a minute. And then eventually I'll start talking to the camera a little bit and just say, I'm about to add the snare. I'm gonna add the hi-hats. Check out the full beat at cracklegbeats.com. And I just did little talking like that, and then I did that for some years, and then I started doing the vlogs, and the vlogs were very cringe, but you know, at the time I kind of knew it too, so it was discouraging, but I knew this is part of the process if I actually want to do this thing, and I think today you're doing yourself a very disservice if you're not taking content creation serious, because it's the easiest way to reach the most amount of people from all over the world from like right here. So like right now you could post a piece of content and you know someone in Canada can watch it, someone in China can watch it. Like this video, we're here in Grand Rapids, Michigan talking, everyone in this room, but not that that's not enough for me. I'm putting it on the World Wide Web. I want to reach tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of more people. So yeah, maybe the smallest amount of people in my funnel will watch this whole 30-40 minute video, but the little sound bites, the little clips from it, one of the clips will get way more views than the whole video. And I've seen it over and over again. There's a time I went to Indianapolis, did a cool music video and stuff, put it on YouTube, it had like 1,500 views. But I made 8 different short form clips that were like cool moments out of that 10-minute vlog. One of them had 150,000 views on Instagram, TikTok. The next one had 20,000 views or something. So I just realized like, bro, the long form content, I don't even care if people watch it or see it. I'm doing the long form content to just get this mess out. And somewhere in this mess, there's some gems. I was telling my wife yesterday, my brain and my thoughts is not organized like the grocery store, like Walmart or Meijer. You know how when you walk down the bread aisle, you see, you know, one brand of bread and there's a bunch of it right behind it. You see Jif peanut butter and there's a whole stack of it behind it. But then there's pawn shops where you walk in a pawn shop, you're like, I'm looking for a Sony camera. They're like, shit, it's somewhere in here. That's how my brain is, you know? So with the content, I know if I talk for 10 minutes, there's gonna be at least a good 1-minute clip in there. So I'm gonna just talk for 10 minutes and who cares if anyone watches the 10 minutes, but there's gonna be a really good moment or two. And yeah, a lot of the viral videos I've had, so like on Instagram, I've gained 20,000 followers in the last 2 months. A lot of those videos were 2 things that I was talking about today. So one was documenting what you do. So one of the things I do is I do sessions where I'm in the studio with music artists. So when I'm in the studio with music artists, I clip one of these bad boys on, so it's just a wireless mic. Set the camera up somewhere with a tripod, or preferably in a perfect world, you can pay someone to, you know, follow you around. Now you're cool, you got a videographer. That costs money, so I do that maybe half the time. The other half of the time, I'm just setting up a camera somewhere, and I know how to edit it enough where I can hit record for 10 minutes. I'm doing some of the beat, get some clips of the artist in the booth, some clips of me messing with the beat. The artist starts asking me some questions, and somewhere of him asking me for advice, I'm gonna answer his question, and someone else out there in the world is gonna have the same question as him. That's like my approach with the content.
Couple quick hitters on just having a large social media. Do you monetize that? Like did Zuckerberg write you a check every month just when you have a post go viral or something like that? Second question related, do you pay to promote any of your content on any platforms? Lastly, for musicians, do you see anyone leverage like the promotion of events through Facebook events or something? Do you think that's the right way to promote actual performances, or are you seeing anyone do something innovative in that space?
Yep. So like I said, in the ADHD, let me slow down. The first question was check. Yeah. So the least amount of money you're gonna make from having an audience is directly from the platform. So like out of all the platforms, YouTube is gonna pay you the most. So like my wife, she had shout out to Alyssa. She had a video, I mean, I was sitting down like I'm reading the book and she's messing with me, doing this, running around in circles, whatever. Had 10 million views or something like that on Facebook. And this is a good reason why you should post on multiple platforms, because she was only posting content on TikTok, and I was telling her, you know, you've made 50 videos during, this is like during COVID. You already did the hard work. Why aren't you posting these on Instagram and Facebook? And you know, she was just being difficult, not really listening. But then one day she posted it, and yeah, like she paid our mortgage payment 1 month from Facebook, paying her for the reels. But I mean, it was like $1,800 for 10 million views, so that sucks. That's from Facebook. Now the same video on YouTube pays, it depends on your audience. So like if you have a finance channel, which I don't think anyone here has a finance channel, but that's how you get paid the most. Because if you're an advertiser, you would think, okay, if the people that are watching this finance content, they have maybe the most amount of money or blah, blah, blah. So, we're gonna pay these creators the most. So yeah, YouTube pays the most out of them. But yeah, how you leverage it is from everything that you do with your audience. If I had 10 followers and I wanted to promote my business, it's gonna be hard. If I have 1 million followers and I wanna promote my business, much easier. So the bigger your audience, anything that you offer. I promote myself, I promote courses, I promote coaching calls, I promote my studio, I promote anything that I'm tied to is what I promote to my audience. So that's how I'm able to make a living, because if I didn't have the audience, it's out of sight, out of mind. The second question was,
Do you pay to promote?
Pay. Yep, so I paid well over 6 figures to Facebook to promote my content. Usually it's when I'm looking for a conversion, so a sale. If I'm just looking for views or likes or something, there's no ROI. Unless you have a specific release, so like let's say you're dropping a new song and you're like, screw the algorithm, it may only get X amount of views. I want to guarantee that it gets seen by 10,000 people. So I'm just gonna skip the line and be like, yep, here's some money. So that is a strategy you can do if you're in that financial position. As far as promoting shows, like if you're touring and stuff, absolutely. That's the smartest way to go about doing it. If I was managing any of you and you guys had, let's say 10 dates coming up, and we knew that date number 1 is in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to make some sort of video ad. What's up? It's blah, blah, blah. Cleveland, Ohio, we're coming there this date, this time, 18 and up, get your tickets below, click the link, blah, blah, blah. Some sort of ad like that, and we're gonna post it, and we're gonna target people within 50 miles of the city that you're performing in. So like Cleveland, Ohio. And then it's a show 2 is in Miami, Florida, same thing, we're promoting it there. What's nice about paying the platforms for ads is you can set the budget. So before social media paid ads, there was yellow pages and billboards. It's just a flat rate fee. So like the billboard, let's say it's $1,500. There is no, can I do $1 a day and then over time I can add it and then maybe I can bump up to $5. It's just, it costs this, period. Take it or leave it. And the same thing with putting an ad in the newspaper, putting an ad on a commercial on TV. It's just a flat fee. So what I love about Facebook and Instagram is you set the budget. So as you type in there, hey, I'm willing to spend $10 a day. It'll say your estimated reach is 1,000 to 4,500. Bump it up to $20. And you're like, hey, your estimated reach is 2,000 to 3,000 to 10 to 12,000 people. The more you spend, the more people you reach. It would be good if you had like a video that if you thought, man, this is like my highlight sizzle reel. If anyone's seen this video, that would be great. That would make sense to put a little bit of money behind that. And a little bit of money is literally a little bit of money. It might be $5 a day or $10 a day. What I found is if you had a $500 budget, you get better results spreading it out over time versus doing it all up front. So like one way to do it is, I want to spend $500 in one day. Stupid, because it takes Facebook time to figure out what people are engaging, and then they find more and more people like them. Because these platforms, they want your money. So they know if they don't give you results, you're not going to keep spending money. So give them more time to find the right people so you get the best results with spreading out over time. So if I had $500 and I was going to put it behind something, I would spread it out to like $10 a day for 50 days versus $500 for one or $250 for 2 days, etc.
But shoot, man, thank you for all you do, bro. First, want to give you your flowers. I see you on Instagram. Yeah, keep up with.
Thank you, thank you.
Once you click on his page, you cannot not see him.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like you, bro, like a jack of all trades. I'm a hip hop artist. I've been producing for like forever, but I'm just now comfortably coming out and saying I'm a producer.
Yeah.
This is my question for production. At what point do you know what to charge for your production? So I go about like production now. If somebody want a beat from me, I'm like, you offer me whatever you deem this to be value, and that's been working for me.
Okay.
How did you find your like price point and all that good stuff?
So the first thing that I had to figure out what the hell to charge for was like studio time. And I remember in the area it was like everyone was paying $50 an hour. And I was thinking, I know I'm just getting started. I'm nowhere near as good as them. No one really knows who I am. Let me just try $20 an hour. Anyone? And it was like, sweet, I got 2 or 3 people. Okay, I'm worth that. Then I started getting busier and busier and I'm like, shit, I can't keep up with this. This is $20. Hey, $25 an hour. I was like, oh, I'm still busy. Okay, cool. How about $35 an hour? And this was spread out over like maybe 6 months. So it's 6 months of like one, getting better. So the product that I'm delivering is a better product, so it's worth more. And then 2, it's a supply and demand thing. Right now I could say, hey, anyone in the audience, a music video costs $20,000. If no one here pays me that, then that's the market saying, hey, maybe there's someone out there that would pay you that, but like this market is saying it's not worth it. So I'd be like, okay, let's try 10,000. No one, then I might have to keep coming down. And obviously you have standards. So like if I kept coming down and it was like $200, I'd say no thank you. But yeah, it's just testing supply and demand. And so that's why social media and content is so important, because I'd say one of the best compliments that I get is like my work ethic, or seeing me so busy, or when people talk to me, they're like, yo, I know you're super busy and you probably don't got time, but real quick, I just want to ask you blah, 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 blah. If you reverse engineer, like, why did they say that first? It's because of what I do with social media. The fact that I'm putting out so much content and doing so many different things, they're just like, but I see you everywhere. When I get on Facebook, I see you. Instagram, I see you. I keep seeing you popping up. Like, you're super busy. Your time is valuable. And since things that are valuable, you pay more money for it. So put out content, build the audience, build the following. What's nice is we get to decide what to post. Like, it would suck if Facebook told us what we had to post every day. Then social media would suck. Same thing with Instagram, YouTube, etc. So we have the freedom to be like, hey, let's say tomorrow I wanted people to know that I was a DJ. I'm gonna start showing me DJ. With you DJing this event, have someone please get some different clips of you that you can chop up, or maybe you do a voiceover afterwards and you're like, day in the life of a producer DJ. All right guys, so today I was in Grand Rapids, I was at this event, it was blah, blah, blah. Shout out to the different people. Here's some footage of me getting down on the turntables. Here's one of the speakers, blah, 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 blah. Like and follow for more. That's just one simple piece of content that you could do.
So my name is Ministry. My question is, what is your key to consistency? Because that is my biggest struggle with, like you said, ADHD. It gets in the way sometimes. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, but I want to do this. And then I'm like everywhere at once instead of just focusing on one thing. So what would you do as far as scheduling, or like your key to building a schedule to keep it consistent?
It's taken me years to kind of get to where I have mine now. But even so one of the things that helped me was, fast forward with Speed Gang, we did this. He had some songs that are really big. Like one of them was like 80 something million views on YouTube, and it's a Red Hot Chili Peppers copyright thing. And so I had this idea of like, maybe we could do a workaround. You see these artists where they do these like live renditions of a song. So it'd be like one of your cool popular songs, but you just do a new version, someone playing the guitar. We had a friend of mine come from Ohio to play the piano. She's a beast. And what I mean by beast is like her discipline. Like if I call her right now, she will not answer. And she'll text me sometime in the next 2 to 3 days and be like, hey, what's up? Seen that you called. I have availability next week, Tuesday, between 5 and 5:30. If that doesn't work, then maybe Friday around before my lunch, I have 15 minutes of spare time. Hit me up. I'm like, holy shit. So she's got it down to, she really respects her time. And so one of my success hacks is find someone that's good at doing something that you're not so good at, and then see if they either have a program or you can pay them to help you become better at that thing. So one of the things she was doing, because we were staying in an Airbnb with her here in Grand Rapids during the time, and she was still getting up at 5 a.m. She was doing her gratitude, journaling, meditation. She went to the gym. She prepped her food like she was a machine. And like we were hanging out in the studio and stuff, and it was like, psst, hey guys, it's about 9 something, like I need to be back by this time. So I was like, hey, I kind of suck at my schedule and the discipline side of things. You're sweet at it. Can I pay you to like help me every single week, work on my schedule? So what I do now is every Monday at 2 p.m. and what she does is she's like, brain dump. What ideas do you have this week? And I'm like, well shit, I know I have some appointments on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm supposed to edit some video. I know I need to make some content, so I should make some content on there. And she kind of helps me organize this junk, like I was saying, this pawn shop, thank you. The pawn shop of chaos up there. And then now we put it into, okay, on Mondays I'll do this. It's a overtime thing. So just kind of like start doing your best, maybe doing some time blocking, maybe around your work schedule and whatnot. And then it'll only get better from there.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
So, as a fellow jack of all trades with a smaller following, what was your trials and tribulations finding a price for each of them? What advice would you give on that?
One thing I want to say is we've heard the quote, jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's horseshit. We're very creative, highly skilled people. Why should we feel ashamed for being so good at multiple things? So I think the ADHD, the creativity, like they go hand in hand. And like what I found too is a lot of those skills cross over to other skills. So like the fact that you know how to like look at a grid and make beats, it drastically helps you when it comes to recording, mixing, and mastering songs. It's like, oh, this is kind of like making beats. When I make the beat, I got to level out the different sounds. Oh, when I mix a song, I'm leveling out the vocals and making it all blend together. Same thing goes when you open up video editing software. It's like, oh, here's the timeline, here's the videos. Oh, I got rhythm because I can make beats and do music and whatnot. Okay, now I'm chopping it up on beat and stuff. It helps. Your question was pricing. Same thing goes with it's testing the market. So like in the beginning, I'd say any money or opportunity is better than none. So if you can do some work for free, but you can gain knowledge or insight. I don't know if you ever read like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he breaks down like poor people work for money, rich people work for like experience and knowledge or access and stuff like that. So opportunities, so a lot of it goes back to and ties into social media because opportunities come from exposing yourself. And you know, for example, this is my first time ever speaking. Shout out to Monk for thinking of me. Putting this together too, exactly. So prior to this, no one's ever reached out to ask me to come speak at an event. Now I have content, so I'm like manifesting this into the world. And so now from the content that I post, more people will ask me to come speak. And so it happens from this. Pricing things. What are some of the services you offer?
Well, so I mix and master, make beats. I'm getting more into the beat making. Videography a little bit. I took 2 years in high school for it. Photography.
Okay, so I got one for you. And this is something that I'm doing right now. You want to use your unfair advantage. You compared to the next person, let's say the next person, they do beats, and they only do beats. The next person, they do engineering or mixing, but they only do engineering or mixing. The next guy, he does videography, but he only does videography. So they have these video packages. What's unique about you is create the package. Like you are the niche. So you're the dude that people can come to, and you put together this package, and you're like, hey, I'm a one-stop shop. The hardest part about business is gaining customers. So once you gain a customer, and this is how I was able to make a living so early, was because I had a customer come for studio time, but I'm like, this same customer also needs beats, and I know how to do beats. So now I was like, hey, I have one customer, but instead of only getting $200 a week from studio time, now I'm getting $200 a week from the studio time, and I'm getting another 100 from the beats. Well, then now when the songs come out, he needs videos and stuff. He's not gonna think of another person if he knows the dude that he's already cool with spending money and breaking bread with. So it's relationships. You get a relationship with one potential customer, they need all of your services, you bundle it together and you create this thing that's unique and give it a cool name. So with me being Crack-a-Lack, I have, and this is gonna be added to my website next month, it's a crack pack. It's unique to me. Come get a crack pack. Just like a Happy Meal, you get a crack pack. What is a crack pack? It's unique to my skills and services. Instead of like having this be a negative thing, like, oh man, because that used to be my issue, was like, it's so hard for me to brand and promote myself. You know, part of the room over there knows me for videos, but then this part of the room comes to me for CD duplication. This part of the room comes to me for studios. This part of the room comes to me for beats. This part of the room comes to me for mentoring. Create a thing that's all of them included, you know? So I'm like, what would an artist actually need? In order to make a song, they need a beat. I'm gonna do the beat for them. They need content and exposure and marketing. I have an audience, so why not making the beat for them? I'm gonna take part of the budget and create content of us in the studio engaging. We're gonna have a photographer in the studio with us taking pictures of us making the beat, making the process. We're gonna film and edit the content, the process of me making the beat. Next step, you go home, you write the song, come back to the studio. Day 2, now I'm recording, mixing, and mastering the song. We're taking pictures of us in the studio. Outfit number 2, we're back in here, filming this process, putting it together. The next step, now we're gonna make some content together to put it out, promote the song. If you need a music video, now we do the music video. I'm going over on time, I'm sorry. And then to sit down and do a strategy call to come up with like, what's the best way to go about marketing the music, promoting it. Like, this is a service that's specific, and I basically took my disadvantage and I made it my advantage and I packaged it. And so now I have a product that's like specific that only I can offer. It's got a cool name. Yeah, so that's how I go about doing it. Yeah, package it, create a special package. And the same thing with you being a music artist and you're doing beats and stuff. Offer, you get the beat and the feature, or you get the beat, and then maybe you team up with a different guy that does the engineering. And so now you got an engineer that's pretty popular, you're pretty popular, and now you're like, hey guys, we got a new service. You get a beat from you, you get to come to the studio to do it, and you get on the song, and then maybe you guys team up with a photographer. The photographer comes through, does a photo shoot, takes pictures of you guys, then you team up with a videographer, or you be a very bad man and you do it all yourself. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Next we're going to some crack-a-lack, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that have more questions.
Yeah.
If you have more questions, well, he's right there. Just go ask him, okay?